This beautiful solid oak rocking chair that you see here in my living room has been in my family for about 90 years now. I can't find any information online about this chair at all as to the manufacturer or when it would have been manufactured, so it's somewhere around 95 to 100 years old, I would assume. This chair came to be in my family around 1932. My mother was born in 1931 right here in the town that I live in, and after 6 months or a year, the family moved from here to about 25 to 30 miles away to the west in an area where there was a lot of gold mining going on. My real grandfather had been a taxidermist here in this town, but apparently that didn't work out so good, so when my mother was around a year old or so, he moved the family up to this gold mining area and decided to try to make a living doing that. According to my mother, when they moved into this old log cabin up in that area, this old rocking chair was already in there, so they just took ownership of it, and that's how this chair came to be in my family. It was my grandfather's chair at that time, but my grandfather wouldn't stick around. He would actually abandon the family and leave and never return when my mother was about 3 years old, so she didn't remember very much about him. Times being what they were back there in the early 1930s, my grandmother quickly remarried another man that worked up there in the gold mining area, and his name was Shell, and that's the reason why we've always called it Shell's Old Rocker, because it quickly became his chair, and that's the only chair I ever saw him sit in. In fact, here's a picture of Shell holding me while sitting in the chair. This would have been mid-1960, and in the cabin that Shell had up there in that gold mining area. In about 1965, when I was 5 years old, Shell and my grandmother moved back here into town because the gold mining just wasn't working out. Shell died in 1975, and then my mother and dad took possession of the chair, and sometime in the mid-1980s, my mother gave the chair to me, and I've had it ever since.